You're very welcome back to number 41 Queen's Hotel here in Ennis, short trip down the road from Clare FM for Friday's Morning Focus, where we are bringing you the 2025 Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club radio charity auction. Always a great occasion, a lot of energy around the place here, number 41 each year, and a lot of great items that are up for grabs, and hopefully by the end of proceedings a lot of money going towards this year's beneficiary. Who is this year's beneficiary, you say? Well, it is St Clair School in Ennis, who do brilliant work in the community, and I paid them a visit earlier in the week, and you can hear that later on in the show. So between now and midday we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to hear from a lot of different voices, and you'll hear about a lot of fantastic items, because I'm looking at sheet upon sheet here of brilliant items that you can put a bid in for. So this is the 2025 Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club radio charity auction. To get in touch with us here on Morning Focus, because of course we also have our end of week competition later on. We're going to be giving away that vanity unit courtesy of Best Price Ennis, and we're looking for one final qualifier. So details coming up later on in the show, and how you can be in with a chance of being the last name in the draw that we'll do before the end of the show. But if you want to get in touch with us here on Clare FM to give your thoughts or views on the auction or anything else at all, it is 0818 400 964, 086 1800 964. You can also send us a voice note via WhatsApp, or else just email focus@clare.fm. And I'm joined now by the president of Ennis Lions Club, Maria Hanley. Maria, good morning to you.
Good morning, Alan. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
You're so right about the buzz here this morning.
Yeah, it's
my goodness.
The place is hopping, isn't it?
They're surrounding me here.
They are surrounding you, Susan. We've got David Goodstein as well, guys. Good morning to you.
Yeah.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well.
It's just amazing. Yeah, fantastic.
So, talk to us a little bit about that. Each year here, number 41, great spot for it. There's always a bit of a buzz around the place, isn't there?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. And I mean, we have to acknowledge the Queens and this lovely cafe for providing us with the facility. And I suppose it's Centre Ennis, which is, they can't miss us if they pass by the window. And this auction, we started this this is our fourth online auction now, and really it's just gathering momentum every year. I mean, we weren't quite sure in the beginning how it was going to turn out, but I mean, we just have very expert people working with us on the team, and it has been absolutely one of our most successful projects. And of course, working with Clare FM has been a huge bonus, and we wish to acknowledge that as well. The publicity you give us and the support you're giving us, which is amazing.
Yeah, we're fantastic.
You're absolutely fantastic, Alan. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
All of us at the station, not just me. But you guys are as well. I mean, the work that Ennis Lions Club has done for many years in the community is fantastic, helping out, the likes of St Clair's, Sláinte Clár in previous years, individuals as well. You know, there's obviously, in recent years, the cost of living crisis, and people have been stuck, and you've helped them out as well with that.
Yeah. Well, I suppose our motto, kind of our brief, is we serve. So we like to be involved in the community and in service to the community. And whilst we don't provide direct service, we work with other charities who do that. So in the last few years, we've really collaborated quite a bit, which works very well, and we've partnershiped. So for example, like this particular project, now we're partnershiping with St Clair School this year. Our food appeal will be coming up now in November, end of November, December, and that's 2 days where we collect non-perishable items, and also people will give some money or maybe some vouchers. And so when that's completed, we have a huge amount of hampers will come out of that collection. And so we work with Clare Care and Vincent de Paul, and so they will have the clients on their books, or the people they feel that really need this. And so that's how we work. Because we wouldn't be in a position to do that kind of thing ourselves, but we love to work with people who are doing it. And then we know the people who really need the service get it. That's the important part.
And I suppose you and everyone else involved with the club put a lot of work into it, but you do that because you get a lot out of it. To know that you've helped people in difficult spots must be very gratifying.
Oh, it's very gratifying. I think to know that you make a difference in a community, in a family, and in a person's life, I think is really what motivates us and keeps us going, and keeps us on the street in the cold days, collecting money, or whatever else we do, or taking on very large projects like this that is time consuming. But there is such a satisfaction. And there's a wonderful, I think, in Lions itself, both local and national and indeed global, there's a great sense of camaraderie. You know, we just love working together and tipping ideas off each other. But at the core of our work is the community, is the service, and it's the people who need it. That's where we come from.
You are president. You were telling me before we came on air that it's not your first term.
No.
I was calling you the Donald Trump of the Ennis Lions Club.
Yeah, not going for a third term.
Second non-consecutive term, although you have promised you're not going to serve a third term. I did say we'll need to get that in writing.
Yeah, well, I will be pushing that in writing to the boss. I'm not going a third time. No.
Well, what does president of the club mean, though?
Good question.
Any extra work or any extra privileges? Or?
Well, I suppose really you have to keep the ship moving, and you have to make sure it's on safe water, and that, you know, any little bit of turmoil we meet, that we sort it out. But generally it's about, I suppose, motivating people. I suppose it's about taking, sometimes I like change, and I like a bit of challenge. So sometimes you bring that to your office, and you try to, like, go in, look at new territory. Sometimes I look at new ideas, and generally just keeping, you manage your meetings every month. You probably have a few subcommittee meetings in between, but there's just a great team, and I think when you have a good team, like a good manager, is about delegating and working with your team and finding out where the best strengths are in any particular team. And I think that's it. You know, really, it's a joy. You know, it has a little bit of work, it has a little bit of hassle.
But you don't mind doing that.
Let's be honest. But I think, you know, coming up to the end of Christmas now, when we've completed quite a few projects, and you see what you have done, I think that's so rewarding. You know, it really is. It might be cliche to say this, but what you put in, you will get back out 100-fold. And that's what I think what volunteering is all about. And I like volunteering.
Look, that is good to hear, and because you get as much out of it as you put into it.
Absolutely.
Can you let the people know a little bit about why St. Clare's was chosen this year? Because I was even remarking, some of the people I've spoken to from St. Clare's and some of the parents who have children attending, that it's kind of almost hidden away in the community, and maybe a lot of people don't know about it, but it's doing incredible work.
Incredible work. Well, I suppose we received correspondence from St. Clare's School back a number of months ago, and they were describing the project they were undertaking, which was to equip the play area with specialised play equipment. And I suppose there was a particular line in that correspondence that said the importance of play in any child's life, which it is for their cognitive and physical development, but even more so for children with special needs. And I think that's what we all clued into and said, oh my, this is our charity for the auction this year. And I called up to St. Clare's yesterday to collect some correspondence, and I was taken on a little tour of the school, but I was also taken to see the playground, and they've already put some equipment there, and it's just, and there was even some children playing there, and to see how, you know, how pleased they were to be there, and their stimulation, and I think it's such a magnificent school, and the work they do, and there was, can I say this, there was a sense of calm in that school, and everybody knew where they were going. I met the children there, and they were all so happy, and I came out thinking, God, there's a great happiness in that school. So a really, really worthy charity for our auction this year.
And hopefully we'll see a lot of money raised today for it. Maria, hopefully by the end of the show, we're announcing a big figure.
Oh, we are.
Keep and the fingers crossed.
Oh, absolutely. And we're doing well, but there's a good bit to go. So everybody, clue in now to Clare FM this morning. Get your fingers out on your laptop, on your phones, and just start ringing and just start bidding.
That's all the encouragement you need, folks. Maria, thank you
You're
for the moment.
Thank you.
Maria's surrounded by a lot of people. It reminds me when an Irish politician is doing a doorstep and all their party colleagues just kind of are attracted to them like a fly to the light. They've all
and I'm not going for the presidency.
You're not going for the presidency. Still time to get the ballot paper. Now, we're joined by lots of members of the club. Maybe will we go through the items that are going to close at 10? So we'll bring Conor Smith in to chat a little bit about that, because I suppose it's coming up to 9:25. So we'll find out what you can bid on before the window of opportunity closes. Good morning to you again, Conor.
Good morning, Alan. I'm back again. I got my hair cut for this occasion.
Fair play to you.
All the good that's going to do me.
Anytime I see you, I'm convinced there's actually a laptop glued to your hand 24/7, because anytime I see you, you have one. But you need it for an occasion like this. So tell us about the items that are closing at 10 a.m.
There's some, I'm talking about some of the bigger items. Some of the lads will talk about the other items. I'll just concentrate on some of the larger packages. Again, we've got my website, full development website, $2,500. There's only a bid for half price on it at the moment. Fitted furniture, Deer Park Timber, fitted furniture, 2,275. There's only a bid on 1,000. Someone is going to get a huge bargain on that. Veep Energy have donated 3 gifts for us this year, 2,000 off complete installation of solar panels. They've got a Zappi charger installation and another Zappi unit standalone to do it. Same thing again, €1,600. Current bid is only 1,000 for the Zappi unit. The standalone Zappi 900, there's 500 bid on it. Like, there's some incredible bargains here. Here's a beautiful piece, mahogany horse, rocking horse, and it's more ornamental, I would think, than a child's thing, although you could use it for both. It's beautiful, so it is. Currently it's €1,000, only 750 bid on it. There's a number of other items. Some of the lads will talk about that haven't even got bids on them yet, but yeah, again, they've really pulled it out of the bag this year. The donations, though, the donors this year have been incredible.
They really have. I mean, I'm holding the document here, and it's sheet upon sheet of fantastic items that are up for grabs. David Goodstein, I mean, of the items that are closing at 10 a.m, you can get all sorts of vouchers. €200 Dunn Stores voucher, similar valued voucher for Willow Boutique, O'Connell Street here in Ennis, a collection of Audi gift items from Audi Limerick, car valeting service, health hamper by Ennis Health Stores. I could go on. There's tons of choice and such variety as well.
Absolutely, Alan, but I'm going to just focus attention on some items that haven't got any bids on them yet, and these are amazing items. Obviously, vouchers, things like that, people can sort of bid blind. It's very easy to bid. These are items that are quite unique. So we've got a painting. It's called a glissy print. You really need to see it to believe it. It's almost like a ceramic finish on this painting. It's called Vase of Anemones by Carmel Madigan. That would retail for $350, and it hasn't got a bid on it yet. So there's an amazing opportunity there for some value. We've got 2 lamps from Sutton's Lighting, a table lamp and a standard lamp. And again, €200 worth and €250 worth there, and they don't have any bids. So you've got about 32 minutes to swoop in and get a bargain there. We've got some further education lessons for people with learning difficulties. This is 2-hour lessons. They would retail at €70. They're no bids on those yet. And this is an intriguing one. It's a voucher for Joyful Harmony Solutions. That's a cleaning services company. So €300 voucher with no bids on it. They do decluttering, deep cleaning. So who doesn't
I might
need
bid
that?
for that myself. I'm thinking of the scene I left in my house when I closed the door this morning. Felt like just throwing a match in.
Exactly. And one more I'll mention. This is a professional service that a company would be interested in. So a sustainability audit for a small to medium enterprise. That's something that'll give value. That'll pay for itself over the years, but something that companies need for their certifications. We have one of those, 750's worth of consultation. No bids on that yet.
Okay, so lots of brilliant items still up for grabs. I mean, and of the items closing at 10 a.m, there's tons of different vouchers. €100 vouchers for the County Boutique, for Clarecastle Pharmacy, for Neelan's Boutique, €100 voucher for the Wine Buff Ennis, and a similar value voucher for Ryan Super Value in Rosslevin. And there's lots of family passes up for grabs as well. Family passes to Bunratty Castle and Folk Park, to Craignown. Also fuel vouchers as we come into the colder time of the year. €50 fuel vouchers for Dan McInerney and Sons, €50 vouchers for O'Reilly Oil in Edenvale, for Hustle Fitness Gym, for Maloney Fuels in Drumbigle, a bouquet of fresh flowers by Gretel's Petals. There's, if you're interested in food and fine dining, vouchers for 2 main courses at the Pepper Mill. Also a visit to Clare Goodie Pack. Lots and lots of brilliant items up for grabs that are closing at 10 a.m. Susan Ward, can you tell us about some of the other items that people can get generally?
Thanks a million. And I just want to say, for those people out there who don't have the deep pockets to buy the items that are in the thousands, we've got lots of items that are under €50 and are still still only being bid at 20 and 30 euros. So you mentioned there the family passes to Bunratty Castle and Folk Park. We've got 5 of those. They're currently bidding at around 32 euros, but they're worth 50 euros. So those family passes, you can bring 6 children and 2 adults. So, there's great value to be had there. We have 5 of those and 2 to Craganown. We also have, this is an interesting one, 135 euro voucher for oxygeneration clinics up in Galway. That's only got a 65 euro bid on it at the moment. So that's a therapeutic oxygen chamber. So somebody with a medical condition could probably get great value out of that. Thanks to P&M Golf, they've given us a Wilson staff putter valued at 175 euros. It's only bid at 85 euros, so somebody's going to get a great bargain there. Let me see, what else have we got? We've got a yoga retreat voucher at Retreat Yourself. That's worth 150 euros, just a 90 euro bid on it.
Okay.
So there's still great bargains to be had all over the place. We've got a lovely little Chantal Thomas pink eau de parfum valued at 21 euros, only 12 euros bid on it. So, even if you've only got 10 or 15 euros to spend, you'll find something in here, and you're giving it to charity. It's a win-win for everybody.
You're giving it to charity, you're getting a great item, and you
Yes.
get that sense of having got a bargain as well. So 3 great
and there's
boxes
something
ticked.
for everybody, every pocket.
Just before we go to the ads, Hans Eisenberg, can you let us know about 2 or 3 items that stand out to you?
Yeah, it's basically everything to do with building. We have a 250 euro voucher for Williams concrete products, and we have currently a bid of 165 euro on it. So once you're involved in building, you probably develop a headache. So the next voucher is for 100 euro voucher for Clare Castle Pharmacy. So they will deal
You
with
get
the
you a lot of
headache.
paracetamol.
So that's currently at 65 euro. And then once you've got the house built, you need carpets. So there you go. You have a 250 euro voucher for M&M Sullivan carpets.
Okay.
Currently in bid is 160 euro. And once you're finished with building the house, you need a break. So you go out to Kilrush to the Harbour restaurant. And there's a voucher there for you for 50 euro. And it's currently standing at 30 euro. And then you can take a drive out to the River Shannon and relax.
I like the way you linked a lot of seemingly unconnected items together there in a beautifully woven narrative thread. Hans Eisenberg, thank you very much. That's as good a way as any to head into the ad break. Do stay with us, and we'll be back very shortly with the 2025 radio charity auction from Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club. And you're very welcome back to Morning Focus, where we're bringing you the 2025 Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club radio charity auction. We're at number 41 Queen's Hotel here in Ennis, and I'm joined now by Ed Scannell, who's the principal from this year's beneficiary of the auction, St. Clair's School in Ennis. Very good morning to you, Ed.
Morning. Thank you for being here.
Thanks very much for joining us. A lot of excitement around the place. You must be delighted to see everyone beavering away, working hard to ensure that as much money as possible comes to St. Clair's.
It's great. I'd love to thank the Queen's Hotel for hosting this. It's great for them to be involved as well. There's a great buzz around the place here. I've had my coffee as well, so we're all good to go. So we're just excited. We got loads of prizes up there on the donation page, and it's going very, very well. And thank you to everyone for their contributions, money-wise or gift-wise or donation-wise. Very, very thankful for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's lovely to see that community spirit when people find out about a cause that's in need. I mean, as I say, mention again, the sheer number of items on the pages in front of me that are for grabs is testament to the community spirit in Ennis and beyond.
It's huge, yes. We had Peter Houlihan was on to us there saying, well, let's beat last year's amount that was on the list there for, I think it was 230, but I think we have really surpassed that now with 280 odd items up there. So thank you, Peter, for pushing us and for making us make this a successful event.
And it's all for a great cause. Your school, St. Clair's School, and you were with us on the show a while back, talking about what you want to do with this money. You've a great setup there, but if you could, and I know people will hear the piece I recorded with some of the teachers at St. Clair's that paid a visit there during the week, playground equipment is very much needed. Yeah,
playground is huge. I spoke last time about, we regulate before we educate. So it's very important that when our children, we have 107 children from a moderate to severe profound range, from age 4 to 5 to 18 years of age. So we have a whole range of areas that children need to regulate on, whether it's going for walks around the garden, around the area, whether it's playing on the equipment. So this money that we're raising here today is to go towards that playground equipment. I spoke last time about, this playground equipment. It's not something that can be bought off the shelf. This has to be bespoke. It has to be particular to the needs.
Tailored to the
children, because we have such a range of abilities and so forth. So we're very excited about what we can plan down the road with the fundraising that's going on here today, and we're very excited. We're making plans already as to what this money could be spent on, and all donations to this fundraiser is going to be purely for playground equipment. So we're very excited.
And as anyone can imagine, in terms of the scope and breadth of the type of playground equipment you can get, there is a lot. So we don't know yet how much is going to go towards St. Clair's. We hope it's a lot. So I suppose it's hard to plan, but you probably have a list of priorities of, if we get this amount, these are the items we'll get, and if we get a bit more, then we can get these other items further down the list.
Yes. We've had staff, we've had children picking out items from catalogues for the last number of weeks with the excitement of all of this. So yes, we do have a priority list, but depending how things go, and I think it's going to go very, very well. I'm very positive about today, and the community spirit in Clare and beyond, outside the borders even, that have contributed to today's fundraiser. It's fantastic, and thank you so much to everyone who has made every effort to make this a success.
Yeah, look, throughout the course of the show, we're going to be telling you about the brilliant items you can bid on, because your money you'll get a great item, you'll get a bargain, and it will go towards a great cause, St. Clair School. We'll be telling you a little more later in this hour about some of the items where the bidding is closing at 10 a.m. So do stay tuned. Ed Scannell, thank you very much, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of the show and you've a big smile on your face, because there's tons of cash going towards St. Clair School. So Ed, thank you for the moment. We're going to hear now from a piece that I did with Catherine Curtin earlier in the week. Catherine's son Tony goes to St. Clair's, and this is my chat with her. Catherine, a very good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Alan.
We are chatting to you ahead of the Clare FM radio auction with Ennis Lions Club, the charity auction. The funds raised will benefit St. Clair's School. I know it's a facility that is close to your heart, and indeed your son Tony. Tell us a little bit about Tony. He's a teenager?
Tony is 14. He's non-verbal. He did go to Parteen School, but now we moved him the last 2 years. He's in St. Clair's, which have been amazing. The changes in him have been great since he started going there. The service is just great, really, to be quite honest with you. And there isn't enough in Limerick or, in other places to take him, so it's badly needed. But, he's coming on great, thank God.
Okay.
Thank God, since he started going there.
Great, and which is great to hear. And we'll get to, I suppose, we'll flesh out the incredible work that's done at St. Clair's in just a bit. But maybe you can kind of set the scene for us and telling us a bit more about Tony. What kind of a lad is he?
He's a big lad. He's a big lad. I'm blessed in the sense he's very lovable, but he's full-time care. It's full on all the time. Can't be left on his own. So, it's a lot of hard work now, to be quite honest with you. So we're blessed to have St. Clair's there, really.
And we know only too well from Morning Focus, speaking with family carers, and the need for respite and other services to help is incredible, the difference it makes.
Yeah. And there isn't enough of it out there, really, to be honest with you, because parents are exhausted. And really, it all revolves around Tony in our lives anyway. He has a twin brother, James, but Tony will always come first. And that's not being selfish, to be quite honest with you, but it's just the way it is.
And can that create a hard dynamic? Because I know from speaking to other families where a child has particular needs, they have to be careful not to devote so much time to the child that has the particular needs that the child that doesn't feels neglected. Yeah. It's a kind of a balancing act, even though it's very tough.
Very hard. It's very hard. We try our best, and his brother James does get a lot of attention as well, but in other ways, I suppose he's more into sport and stuff like that. But it's always, can you hang on a minute, James? Can you hang on a minute, James? Kind of a thing. But it's full-time care with Tony. For an example, he'd remind you really of a 2-year-old, even though he's 14. So you literally have to be by his side all the time. But he's actually like a toddler, really, like a baby. So it's hard work. It really is,
So he's non-verbal, and when you say he's like a 2-year-old, does that mean in terms of attitude, or in terms of like, do you have to dress him and feed him and all of that kind of stuff?
Well, when I say feed him, he's more of a picker with food and whatever, you know, but he'd never sit down and eat a full meal. Dress-wise, you'll have to direct him to dress. He wouldn't know really what to put on him or, you know, to shower him.
So he can dress himself, but he's just not stylish. You have to help him with his wardrobe.
Yeah, but you have to help him still. He wouldn't be able to tie his shoes or anything like that. You still have to help him pull up his pants and stuff like that. Like there was something I was going to say there now. It's just, you have to shower him, cut his nails. You know, I cut his hair as well, which is actually getting so much harder now because he's getting so much bigger. When you're walking with him, he's no sense of danger whatsoever. You know, so
you have to be on high alert all of the time.
Literally 24/7. You're in care of him all the time.
And Catherine, having to have your wits about you and your senses on and be caring on a pretty much 24/7 basis.
Yeah.
That's got to take its toll on you and the rest of the family. Do
you know what? It's actually exhausting. It's really exhausting. Even, you know, we can't go on a family holiday. You couldn't bring Tony the furthest we'll go is down to Kilkee, County Clare, but...
And given your situation, you'd probably more than most cry out to get abroad and get a bit of sun.
Oh, love it if I could. But now what we do is my husband and I kind of work well together. In fairness, he will go on his holiday and I'll go on mine. But, like, it's very hard.
Even that you have to do it. You can't just have a holiday together.
No, you can't. You can't do it at all. So it's very hard on a family. And the only break really is what you get is when they go to school. Respite is very, very limited. So, you know, you're a full-time carer 24/7. So it's exhausting on the family. All the family, really, to be honest with you. Even his brother, even though we don't put a lot on him. But at the same time, he's getting to the age now trying to, you know, listen to Tony roaring and shouting and that kind of getting frustrated. It's getting harder on him as well. You know, if he wakes in the middle of the night, which his sleep wouldn't be good either. So he can wake at any stage. So because my other son is 14 as well, it's like he's beginning to wake now when he hears him. There was a time he wouldn't have had, but he used to get up for school the next morning. So it's kind of, the house is actually a bit crazy, really.
There must be times when you and your husband are fit to tear your hair out, or even close to tears, or exasperated.
And have been close to tears many a time, you know, but you're absolutely exhausted. Now his sleep, thankfully, is gone a lot better. But before, I mean, we never ever got sleep. He'd wake from 2 till 6 in the morning every single night of the week, and it was I don't know how we kept going, but we did. Thank God that has settled down a lot. But it's full on, like it's full on still with him because he's getting so big, and I'm trying to mind him, which for me is harder because I'm smaller as well. You know, it is very hard. You try to get him out. Mobility, he is walking and stuff like that, but he's a big child and has put on a lot of weight and stuff through medication and stuff. But trying to get him out moving and stuff like that, it's all frustrating. Everything is a battle. Everything is a battle with him.
So, Catherine, tell us about when St. Clare's entered the picture and how badly needed they were, and what they have done in terms of helping support Tony's development and learning, and maybe then we'll get to how that positive impact has helped you and your husband and the rest of the family.
Well, we had put Tony's name down in a load of schools, some in Limerick, St. Clare's as well. Obviously, we were recommended St. Clare's. There actually isn't a huge amount of schools outside there for kids like Tony. Luckily enough, we got a place in St. Clare's. I actually don't know what we would have done if we actually hadn't, because there was none in Limerick. There was no places for schools in Limerick for him. And since he's gone there, now I will say there's a huge difference in him, even speech-wise. There's more words coming, and maybe we should have done it sooner. But look, we didn't know what to do. We were partying school. We're glad to keep him there. They were happy to keep him. It was his local school. But then you're going into the secondary school's time, and it's like, where do you send him? You know?
Look, better late than never. You're just glad you found it
at
all.
Oh, God, yeah. We were blessed, absolutely blessed. You know, we were thrilled to get him into St. Clare's. And we've been happy ever since, really, because he has progressed a lot since he's gone there, you know.
And what's the general kind of way it works in terms of the teachers, the SNAs or the therapies at the school that have been so beneficial for Tony and as a consequence for you and the family?
Well, in fairness to St. Clare's, they're great to help you really and advise you on what to do. There's certain things that you wouldn't know what to do, even regarding respite and stuff like that. They can advise you. He gets a lot more, he's outside a lot more. He's out playing, he's more energetic. He needs to be on the move all the time. So he needs the facilities that St. Clare's have. But obviously they're looking for more facilities and it's badly needed, really.
Are there any moments or milestones from Tony's time at St. Clare's that stand out to you? Maybe in, the early stages when you went there and you saw a significant positive change, went, oh, that's brilliant, or...
Well, you know what? He's actually starting to even type things now. Now you direct him, which he never did before, and probably we were doing too much for him as well. Whereas now we're learning that he actually can do a lot more than what we think he can do. So he's beginning to kind of type his own things. His communication in general has gone a lot better since he's gone there. So that's a huge plus for us, because communication, if they don't have it, that's when the frustration starts, But he's less frustrated than what he used to be. So to us, that's a huge help.
If Tony's less frustrated,
yeah.
Ergo you guys are less frustrated.
Exactly, yeah. And you get more rest then because he's not hanging off you or he's not hitting things. If he's frustrated and he can't tell you what he wants, that's huge with a child like Tony.
And even earlier on when you were saying from 2 to 6 he'd be awake in the middle of the night. I mean, for you guys to be working off 3-4 hours sleep, what that does to your mind, your mental health,
yeah,
just physically and emotionally as well.
You're actually taking each day as it comes, you really are. You're just kind of, and you do know, you don't look to I personally don't look to the future, because if you did, you're going to think, is this for the rest of my life? But it is, but you just keep going with it, But it's hard work, And the work that St. Clare's put in fairness to them, they're unreal outside there. They really are great now, to be honest.
How would you say, Catherine, that St. Clare's has helped you and your family beyond the classroom?
It's just their whole personal way with us. I could pick up the phone and ring for any kind of help at all, but they'll help you with outside of the school, which, as I said, the respite earlier on.
Yeah.
There's certain things, a lot of it is he's only started respite in the last, say, 6 months. It's all new to us, so we wouldn't know everything involved in it. But at least if you've someone to ring. It's not all the time you're going to get through to someone in the intervention team, but you've someone to call that can actually advise you, other than something to do with the school, but it's outside the school, Other things, anything at all, they're very open for you to pick up the phone and ring them,
It's clear St. Clare's entering Tony's and your lives has been a godsend, but of course, any money that is raised in order to help them do what they do is always very much appreciated, which I suppose the raison d'etre of this year's Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club radio auction. What would you like the public to know about how important the support is and how the funds raised through the auction can make a real difference for students like you or Tony?
Yeah, well, to be honest, the school needs more facilities, outdoor facilities, playground facilities. Kids learn through play. The amount of kids now with a diagnosis of autism and other, things, it's badly needed, because there isn't other schools, the government aren't going to, fund them. So it has to be the public who has to fund it. So it's just badly needed, it really is. It's just trying to get it in now is the thing, but people, you never know when it's on your own doorstep, really, to be honest, that you're going to need to send your child to a special school. But, it's an awful thing to say that that the government don't fund things like this. And, that's the sad thing. They should, but they don't. I'm blessed that Tony got into St. Clare's, but at the same time, they do need the facilities for the kids, They're only small things, they're playgrounds, but they all cost a lot of money, to put together, because they have to be safe. The environment has to be safe as well.
And that's why this auction, this radio auction, is so badly needed. Just to finish, Catherine, if you could say one thing to people thinking about supporting the auction, what would it be?
Do you know what? People are so generous most of the time, you know, and you just like to say, if you could please support the cause. It's a huge cause. I think nearly most people know kids that are special needs or, you know, different things. But just to say, if you could support, any little amount would help. And thanks very much.
Catherine Curtin, thank you so much for joining me in studio, and all the best to you, your family, and to Tony for the future. Thanks very much.
Thanks a million.
And you're very welcome back to number 41 at the Queen's Hotel for the 2025 Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club Radio Charity Auction. I'm joined once again by Conor Smith. And Conor, there's a lot of items where the bidding is closing up very, very shortly at 10 a.m.
Yeah, we've about 280 items altogether, but there's approximately 100 about to close in the coming minutes. And once they're gone. And we're going to continue to do that in stages over the morning, close off items and leaving the last few. So if you're looking at something, you really need to get in and get your bid. Just a few of the items, and there goes my PC, a few of the items that are closing in a few moments. A voucher for Dirty Nellies, family pass to Craiganoan, there's 5 of those. P&M Golf, there's a putter, gift box from Clare Jam Company. There's a voucher for the Old Ground, Knox's Pub, Murphy's Pharmacy in Rosslevin. So there's an endless list there. €300 voucher you mentioned earlier on, getting a deep clean at home. If Alan hasn't bidded for that, you might get a chance. He's bidding on the radio. For your pet, €100 voucher for paw spa and dog grooming. So there's about 100 items you really need to get on your PC and start putting in your last bids before it goes. Secure your items. Many of these items are still at half price or barely above, and regardless if you're going the full price in it, you're getting some fabulous gifts and you're supporting a fabulous charity.
Yeah, it's win-win-win all round. And just briefly, Conor, in terms of the current bidding, where are we at?
I'm not allowed to tell the price yet, am I? No, I can't do that. Yeah, we are well on target for, should I say it, we're hoping to break the €30,000 and we're well on target.
This man has signed an NDA, non-disclosure agreement.
We need your help. It's a super cause. There's incredible gifts here, and for the donors who have given to us. Wow, I'm really impressed this year. So a few minutes on your 10 o'clock bids, get them in now.
Get in now, because you're going to get yourself a great bargain and help a brilliant cause. Lots more to come from number 41 of the Queen's Hotel for this year's Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club Radio Charity Auction. We return here to number 41 Queen's Hotel, a short trip down the road from Clare FM for this year's Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club Radio Charity Auction, where there's lots happening, and it's all for the good of St Clare's School here in Ennis, to enable them to get playground equipment for the students at the school. And it is 0818 400 964 to give us a call on anything at all, if you want to talk about anything at all that's happening out there involving yourself or just in Clare or the world at large. You can also text or WhatsApp us 086 1800 964. Send us a voice note if you'd like to have your voice heard on air, or else just email focus@clare.fm. Our own competition before the end of the show would be giving away our end of week prize, which is the Oreo 2-door white floor vanity unit, including basin and tap, from Best Price Ennis. They're celebrating their sale. Great savings on laminate wood flooring, tiles, bathware, fireplaces and stoves. So make sure you drop down to their stunning new showroom that's located at the Quinn Road Business Park here in Ennis, and for their best price VAT-free Black Friday 23% off sale. So if you want to be in with a chance of winning that Oreo 2-door white floor vanity unit, including basin and tap, well, there's 4 names in the draw that we'll do before the end of the show, but we're looking for our 5th and final qualifier. And given the kindness that we're seeing around us here at number 41, lots of people bidding on items, talk about kind gestures. So we want to find out from you about the kindest gesture you have ever made or received. What is the kindest gesture you have ever made or received? Do let us know if you want to be the final name in the draw for that vanity unit from Best Price Ennis. The kindest gesture you have made or been on the receiving end of, 086 1800 964, with your name and where you're from. We'll pick out that final qualifier later on in the show, and then their name will go into the hat for that draw. So do get in touch with us on 081 400 964, 086 1800 964. You heard all about the items where the bidding closed at 10 a.m, but fear not, there are over 280 items up for grabs here at the outset of the radio auction. So plenty more to talk about, and I'm joined once again by Conor Smith. Conor, thanks for being with us again. again. And I mean, the list, I was looking at it earlier on, the items for closing at 10 a.m. and there was a lot, but there's even more closing at 11. Talk to us a little bit about, once again, I'm just seeing so much variety, whether it's photographic prints, family tickets for Jewel and Cape. There's just tons of stuff there.
I'm going to give a shout out for the lads again. If you have, now I have to be very careful here, if you want to get a Christmas gift for your spouse or girlfriend.
Yeah, keep it to that. Connor's referencing last year, we'll say nothing.
I'm not allowed to mention mistress, so you're not allowed to buy anything for your mistress on this website. But for your spouse or your girlfriends, there's some great gifts here, and particularly as we're coming up to the Christmas again, and they'll be eternally grateful to you. If you have a €100 voucher here for the County Boutique, there's 2 vouchers for Nasomi shoes. There's hair and beauty, there's plenty there on that side. Luxury hamper from O'Sullivan's Pharmacy. There's more again, dual in yoga, reflexology, guillotine, get your own hair done, guillotine men's hair voucher for a year. Luxury hamper from Rochford Pharmacy. Again, there's more. There's endless gifts here. Particularly, I found myself last year. I picked up a number of items for Christmas for my own family and friends. So, take a look at this.
And as a male, Connor, do you have a feeling of superiority over your fellow males that in October you had already secured a good bit of your Christmas shopping?
I wouldn't.
Which is highly unusual for us.
I wouldn't advertise that.
You wouldn't advertise it. Friends could tell you, he just had there was a slight smugness to it.
I've just mentioned it on local radio, so I'm
true, actually, yeah.
So I'm sure I'm going to get that in the year later on. But yeah, come on, there's great vouchers here. We're down to the last 150 items, and it'd be an absolute shame not to take advantage of this and support an excellent charity.
It really would. There's items here for individuals, if you want to get something for yourself or for a loved one or a friend. But there's also, lots of great options in terms of family items like Mower Hill Farm. You could get a family visit to Mower Hill Open Farm, a family pass for the Alway Burn Experience, history tour with Ennis Walking Tours. So there's lots of stuff, items that groups can enjoy.
Yeah, and there's even as well, if you want to go down the sports and leisure route, Leisure Centre, 2 months membership for Woodstock Hotel Leisure Centre, Lahinch Surf School. There's kayaking, 1 year membership to Lahinch Leisure Centre again, North Clare Sea Kayaking. They'll bring you out in and around Ballyvaughan Bay. It's absolutely beautiful up there. You might even get out to some of the islands. There's 2 tickets for the Munster Championship. Plenty of golf. 4 balls in Dromoland. There's Lahinch. Another 12-month member there for Ennis Leisure Centre. On and on. Spanish Point Golf Club again. Woodstock Golf Club. Plenty of outdoors. There's rugby tickets there for Ireland versus Japan. Again, endless sports or activity, whether you want to sit in a seat and watch somebody else do it or take part in it yourself. Just endless choices there.
Yeah, and again, thinking of my house, Shark Cordless vacuum cleaner up for grabs there as well. That's something I wouldn't mind getting, and I'm getting hungry even looking at some of the other items, like a pair of tickets to the Bunratty Medieval Banquet. I've never had the pleasure of experiencing that. We love taking our kids to Bunratty Castle and Folk Park, but I've been in the castle, never experienced the Medieval Banquet, but I'd say you come out with a full belly and a smile on your face after that. There's afternoon tea at the Inn at Dromoland, bottles of Lafon French wine. It's incredible to see not just the variety, but the amounts of different businesses and sectors within Clare who have put their hand up and said, we want to help out with a great cause.
Yeah, the businesses have really stepped up again. We rely on them hugely, and they have been so generous to our cause. Again and again, this is our 4th year doing this, and we have to take our hats off to them. Without those businesses and their generous donations, we wouldn't be having this auction.
That is for sure, and Conor wouldn't have gotten half his Christmas shopping done already. There'd be people nearest and dearest to him guessing which of the items did he mention are for me. But hopefully they'll have forgotten about this later on the show. Conor, thank you very much, because you are a busy man, and Conor's going to be with us again later on in the show. 0818 400 964 if you want to call us. You can also text or WhatsApp us 086 80 100 964. In terms of bidding, Carmel O'Doherty has texted us with a bid for a painting. This is a bid on a Carmel O'Doherty O'Doherty Painting. Just to let that listener know, if you have texted us on 086 1800 964 to bid on a Carmel O'Doherty painting, you're best placed to put that bid in online. So make sure you go online to put in that bid for the Carmel O'Doherty painting in order to be in with a chance of securing that. But it is great to see people are exploring every avenue to try and get an item that they would love to have or that they'd love to get for somebody else. So look, as I said at the outset, lots happening here at the Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club Radio charity auction. We heard earlier on from Catherine Curtin, whose son Tony attends St. Clare's. I've been speaking to some other brilliant parents about their children and the transformative effect attending St. Clare's has had on their children and them and their families and their lives as a consequence. But I've also paid a visit to St. Clare's to chat with some of the staff. So we're going to hear that now. And I'm here at St. Clare's School in Ennis, where I'm joined by 3 members of staff. I'll get the first member of staff to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Bernie McNamara.
And Bernie, tell us a little bit about what you do here at St. Clare's.
So I am a class teacher here at St. Clare's School. I'm currently teaching in JC2 and I have 13 and 14-year-old boys, so we have a very busy day. I have wonderful SNAs that I work with, Neil, Aaron, John and Ken. And my main objective when I come to school every day is to make sure that our children have happy, meaningful experiences, that they are regulated, that they are enjoying their time here at St. Clare's, and that's really, really important for us.
And can you talk to us a little bit about what exactly those meaningful experiences constitute? What do they do, roughly speaking, on a regular day here?
So when our children come in off the bus in the morning, it's really important that they have an opportunity to engage with experiences that are important to them. Each child is an individual in our school, so they have different things, likes, interests that are important to them. So when they come in off the buses, it's really important that we have equipment, we have toys, we have sensory activities, we've lights rooms, we have therapy balls that they can engage with, so that they come in, they're engaging with their sensory regulation, whatever that might be for them individually. So when you come to the school, you might see sensory rooms like lights rooms, you'll see therapy balls outside, you'll see trampolines, playground equipment, we'll see swings at the front of our school, and they're things that all our children use the minute they come into school, to have them ready, to have them excited to learn when they come into the classroom.
And we've gotten a sense from some of the parents as to how transformative coming to St. Clare's is for their children. I mean, it must be nice to know you're part of that.
Oh, absolutely. I think the children are the reason that all of us come into work in the morning. They are at the centre of our world here at St. Clare's, and it really is all for them. The beauty of working in a special school is we are looking at them really closely. We have smaller class sizes, we have fantastic staff that work with us, and we get to know our children as an individual. And not only that, we have fantastic relationships with our parents as well, and that's really down to the staff communicating with them on a daily basis, getting to know them, and recording all that information, so that we really have a good, deep understanding of the child's needs and what's going to make them happy. And at the end of the day, the most important thing in this school is that our children are happy.
Okay, our second staff member, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is David Culligan and I'm teaching children in the senior side of the primary school, so children ages 8 to 11.
Okay, and pretty much is it what you're doing similar to what Bernie's doing, just with a different age group, or are there any differences?
Yeah, so we'd be following the primary curriculum, but as Bernie touched on there as well, in order to follow a busy curriculum like that, it's important that the children are regulated, that they're blow off a bit of steam before they're able to sit and actually work one-to-one or within groups, so that's where this fundraiser would come in, to get some equipment for them would be invaluable to the children and the staff within the school.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit more about that, what exactly you require and what difference it will make.
Yeah, so again, as Bernie touched on there, we have, some great rooms here. We have lights rooms, we have ball pools, but unfortunately outdoor we are lacking in that. We're missing out on playground equipment, really. Children in this school, they love to climb, they love to burn off energy, and to bring them to playground equipment. It's just too far to get down to our local playground. It's a bit dangerous with roads and things like that, so to have some of the equipment here would just put a smile on their faces, really, and just make their day that little bit more enjoyable.
And our third staff member?
My name is Sinead Dermody. I'm working in the junior primary, so I'm working with kids aged 5 to 8, so kind of similar enough to David. I have 6 wonderful little people in my life in school every day. They're all very different. I suppose a lot of the stuff that Bernie and David have spoken about are going to be similar enough in my case. The most important thing to note and to realise and to say is that all of our kids are so unique. It's the same as any school across the country. And obviously we're biased, but we probably have some of the most amazing kids in our school, of course. So again, like Bernie and David have touched on, regulation is the key to everything in our school. Regulation looks different for each child that you meet, because obviously they have different interests. You know what I mean? Things that would appeal to one child may not appeal to another child. And yeah, we have our lovely sensory rooms, that kind of thing. But like David touched on, it's the outdoor equipment that we need. And I suppose a similar situation with David, to try and get to the playground that isn't a million miles away from us at all, because of the roads, because of the traffic, because of the staffing requirements that takes. We just don't get down there enough. So it would be absolutely incredible to have it on our doorstep. And for the kids just to have the use of that equipment every single day in school, because once the kids are regulated and happy, that's our starting point, and that's when we can go and do incredible things with them and hit our curriculum and hit our SSP targets every day. And yeah, so it's just basically the basis of everything that we do here. So I suppose on another point, just to say a huge thank you to everyone who's donated prizes for the auction, or whatever way you want to put it, and just for the huge support that we've gotten from the locality, people of Clare and further beyond. Yeah, it just means everything to us, and it makes everybody's lives a lot easier having access to these things. So just a huge thank you from everyone here in St. Clair's.
Bernie, it's great the radio auction is happening, and hopefully as many people as possible will bid on items, and that money will come and make a difference here. But it's great to see, you rely on the community for their support, and to see them rowing in behind the auction, and hopefully people will dig deep into their pockets. And as we said with David Goodstein on the show, it's a nice forerunner to Christmas, good opportunity to get Christmas presents in early, so everyone's a winner from it.
Absolutely, and again, all we can do is thank our community, I suppose. When you look at St. Clair's School, the children that attend here are so vulnerable. They are, you could consider them the most vulnerable people in society, and it's so important that we, as a school community, become involved with the community. And I encourage, everyone to get involved with our school. It's such a wonderful place to be. It's such a warm, welcoming and inviting place, as soon as you come in the door. And that's the kind of atmosphere that we're creating for our children. So it's great to see that they are being supported so much, because really everything we do is for them. So I think once this fundraiser is successful, as I know it will be due to the generosity of everyone, I think, it would be so wonderful if everybody could come and see what an impact that this is going to make to our school, and what an impact it will make to our children's day, and that to be showcased as well, because they really do deserve the best of the best. They are wonderful, wonderful young people that we have in our school. So yeah, again, all I can do is thank everybody for their generosity and their support, and like you said, a great incentive coming up to Christmas for everybody to have lovely, nice things and support a really good cause all at the same time.
Yeah, and final word to this, David. I mean, clearly there are quite a number of people who know about St. Clair's, because there's a lot of pupils coming here. But given where you're located, you're tucked away in a nice corner. Do you think through the auction, radio auction, more people have become aware of St. Clare's and the great work it's doing?
Absolutely. I mean, like between Clare FM and between all the great businesses that are in the area, the school has been highlighted, and it's important for people to see the fantastic work that is being done in here and actually get a little snip on what amazing kids we have in here as well. And, you know, just for the whole county to get behind, you know, we're great to support our hurling, our football teams in Clare, but we're very good to support charities as well. And, you know, anyone that has donated, it's really appreciated.
Thanks very much, because I know the Bearfield man who pains you to talk about football again. Well, I'm sure Sinead is an Aero fan. You'd love to final word to you on that.
Yeah, I won't say much, to be honest. We're very gracious winners in Aero, but it has been a mighty couple of weeks and there has been lots of celebrating. But it's great because David and I are definitely still friends.
For now. She's grinning like a Cheshire cat and then some. Guys, thanks very much.
Thank you.
My thanks again to the three guys for being so accommodating and having a chat with me at St. Clare's. Absolutely fantastic school and a really worthwhile beneficiary of this year's Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club radio charity auction. 0818 400 964 if you want to call us. 086 1800 964 is our text and WhatsApp number. We'll have lots more from the auction after this short break. And you're very welcome back to number 41 Queen's Hotel for this year's Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club radio charity auction, all in aid of St. Clare's School, and hoping we can raise, and you guys as well can raise, as much money as possible for the school. 0818 400 964 is the number to call. 086 1800 964 is our text and WhatsApp number. Remember, for the competition we've been running all this week on Morning Focus, we're doing that draw before the end of the show to give away that vanity unit from Best Price Ennis, and we're looking for one more name to go into the draw. So we're asking you about kind gestures, because it is a day of kindness and great gestures of people bidding on these items and giving their money to a great cause. So the kindest gesture you've either given or received, 086 1800 964 with your name and where you're from on that. And I'm joined by Susan Ward, by David Goodstein, Connor Smith and Hans Eisenberg again to chat about the state of play at the moment. And Connor, we were talking a little earlier on about some of the items that are expiring at 11 o'clock. Just to go through some of the other ones that stand out to you, ones that people should keep an eye out for.
I'm looking at the actual live bidding, which is happening as we speak. Just come in there now, €100 against a €200 voucher for the Plaza Group, your petrol stations on the motorway. Someone has just bid 125 for the Guillotine Barber Shop. I'm sure he doesn't want me to mention that because he wants to grab it himself. Half price still there, or a little over half price. Sorry. Family pass to Aloe Burren Experience. Same thing again, €50 against a €71 voucher. Here's a nice one. Somebody has finally bid on the Ireland versus Japan rugby on the 8th of November. We've no bids on that this morning. We've now a bid of €210. There's 4 tickets valued at €380. Live bid just there, a few within the last 5 minutes. VIP experience at the Aviva Stadium in Limerick, €400 has been bid against an €800 voucher. So live, these are actually happening as I'm speaking to you. My screen is bouncing up and updating all the time.
Okay, well, the Japan one I'd say will be highly sought after, because with the other November internationals being against New Zealand in Chicago and then Australia and South Africa, you would think that's one we're most likely to win. So it'd be nice to be there at an Ireland victory. Maybe Australia as well, you never know. That's definitely one I can see a lot of people putting bids in for. Anything else stand out to you?
Whelan's Garage, walk behind Lawnmower. €500 against a €630 lawnmower. Where have we got? Nozomi Shoes. The lads were obviously listening to me. Somebody's put in a bid, 125 against a 150 voucher. We've got Munster versus Connacht tickets, €280. There's only €140, so someone is really getting a bargain on that. Again, I love these flights. These are new. Fly Shannon have given us 2 tickets to fly to Boston.
Oh, lovely.
It's almost at full price, €1,200. Someone's picking up so far for 1,020. I expect that'll go to the full price. It might even go over because you're donating to charity and you're getting your trip away. That was a really nice one to see, as with everything else.
Yeah, lots of great items there, and those are some of the items that are closing at 11 a.m. So the sooner you bid on those, the better. Hans, what about some of the other items up for auction? Anything that you'd like to let the listeners know about?
Well, I'm looking at the 500-watt electric smart radiator. This time of the year, everybody needs a warm home. So when you feel peckish, there's a Bosch microwave grill oven. You can put your ready meal in. And then when you want to listen to your favorite radio station like Clare FM, you use the Apple HomePod mini smart speaker, which we have.
Only Clare FM.
Only Clare FM. It's only tuned.
It's only tuned to Clare FM,
Yes,
and that's
yes.
all right.
Then there's a family pass for the LEW Burn experience, still up for grabs. And if you look at lovely equipment to put into your home, it's the hand-turned items which we got from Pat Foodie there from Cayley Crafts. As hand-turned beach table, lamp, and hand-turned storage containers, which are up for grabs. And if you bought all of that, you need a wardrobe to fit it all in. So there's a wardrobe made by master craftsman at Deer Park Timber. So that is definitely an item to go for if you look for craftsmanship and precision.
I must say, I love the way you're just weaving all the different items together. Is that pre-prepared, or is it all just coming to you naturally?
It's partially pre-prepared.
Well, you know what? It's a slick delivery anyway. Pre-prepared or not, it sounds impressive. Yes, great items there. What about yourself, David? Hans has raised the bar here now in terms of putting items together. So
I can't compete with Hans.
Do it in your own inimitable style.
Ability, yeah. There are some items that jump out at me. Connor mentioned the Munster Connacht tickets in Thomond Park. We've actually got two items there, so we've got stand tickets, and then the other item is a VIP experience for the same match. And the Aviva Stadium, this is an amazing item. So it's a VIP experience at the Aviva Stadium in November. So you get entered into a draw for one of the 4 events that are on in November. So that's the FAI Cup final. That's Ireland versus
November
Portugal.
internationals, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's a rugby international against Australia and against South Africa. So what a lucky dip that is. That's incredible. Other items that are ending at 11. We've got tickets for nearly every tourism destination in Clare.
Yeah, so you're spoiled for choice in that regard, actually. Yeah.
So finishing at 11, there's family pass for the Cliffs of Moher. There's Moher Hill Farm, and we've also got another petting farm called Turo Petting Farm, which is in Loughrea. Yeah. County Galway. Thank you, Susan. And an item. It's a hand-knitted shawl by Meet the Wool, and this was kindly donated to us, but I went to pick this up the other day and I was just amazed by the vibrant colours, the quality of it. It's just a beautiful item.
Okay, lots of stuff there. What about yourself, Susan?
Oh, I have one of my favourite items every year, and I have to thank, I'm a big fan of these guys, Hermitage Green. They have given us, once again, tickets for 4 people to any of their events in December, excluding the 2 matinee events, which are for families. So those are valued at €170. We've only got 100 or 110 euros on them maybe at the moment, so it's a great gig to go to. I will be going to one of them myself, so I encourage people
Up
to
the front row?
Yeah, absolutely, the mosh pit. Anyway, apart from that, we've got a lovely one that we get every year also from O'Sullivan's Pharmacy is the luxury beauty hamper, and it's only on at half price at the moment. It's 115 worth, 230. Brilliant Christmas present, all you men out there now. Women will always be happy to get that luxury beauty hamper. And a really gorgeous gift that we've been given from Doolin Yoga, the sound bath and sauna for 2. So the sound bath is like chimes and lovely sounds, a very relaxing atmosphere, and then you can hop into the sauna afterwards and be very chilled in a hot environment. And that's valued at 180, and it's only bid 105 at the moment. So again, a lovely Christmas present. And people, like a lot of these vouchers that we have are great Christmas presents and getting good value for them. We've also got Clare Western Loop ticket family pass, so that brings you to the Cliffs of Moher, Vandeleur Gardens and Loophead. And again, a family pass with Clare Tourism is 2 adults and 6 children. Great value. It's valued at €80, only €40 bid on it at the moment. And finally, I really love this one as well. This is a €200 gift voucher for Offspring Cafe in Lifford, and it was donated to us by Hogan Accountants, so thank you to them. So €200 for a cafe, which, you could have a lovely family event there with that, and it is valued at €200 and bidding currently currently only €110, so definite bargain there.
Okay, I mean, lots of stuff to choose from. You were mentioning the sound bath and sauna for two doing
Yes.
yoga, and even just as well as that, I see there's a voucher for a class for a QiGong Selfheal class.
That's right.
Which I'd never heard. When I saw QiGong, I thought it was a company that makes computers or something. But it's great to see that there's items that, for the mind and the body and all of that.
Great diversity across all of the items.
QiGong or not QiGong?
That is the question.
After your job, Alan.
Yeah. He's
retired. He'll be thinking about it.
He'll be presenting next year's radio auction, that is for sure. Okay, so look, those are some of the items closing at 11, so do make sure you get in with your bids. I mean, in terms of what you guys are doing, Susan, are you kept busy? Because I see Connor and Steve run around with a laptop stuck to their arm.
I have to give great credit to David and Hans, who have put together our listings. People make a donation and we're so grateful to them, but these guys have done huge work behind the scenes, getting everything ready for today. And Connor, of course, is our main man when it comes to the radio here and keeping tabs on the day. Yeah, it has been busy, and it is busy every year, but this is our 4th year and we're getting used to it. we're kind of
getting into the swing
of it now, yeah. But it is all voluntary work by our members, and we're delighted to do it for all the charities that we've supported so far, and particularly St. Clare's this year has been a joy. And the joy is that we're going to give joy to all of those children when they get their playground. And I'm so blown away by the idea of a child in a wheelchair on a merry-go-round and feeling the wind in his face or her face, and they need that as much as anybody else does. So I'm delighted to do it.
Yeah, that is for sure. That is why it's being done. And look, that moment towards the end of the show when we reveal the amount that's been raised, it's going to be a joyous moment. So look, get in touch with the bidding if you can. I mean, I did mention earlier with people bidding via text on 086 1800 964, which is very much appreciated, but I direct you towards bidding online if you can. There's guys here walking around with laptops, not just to look stylish, because they're there ready and willing to take your bids.
Not even looking stylish. I'm talking about myself.
Oh, okay. Dave and Connor hands looked a bit worried there for a moment.
We've had a lot of donations, cash donations from businesses. We have an I Donate button on the Ennis Lions Club website, so anyone can just make a direct donation to the school that way.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Yeah, look,
we're here at number 41, so people can come in here as well and donate.
Yeah, pop down to us here at number 41 and put in a donation and also soak up some of the atmosphere as well. And who knows, you might be roped into taking some of the bidding as well, because it's all hands on deck here at the moment. Look, lots more to come from the 2025 Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club Radio Charity Auction. 0818 400 964. To call us here on Morning Focus, or you can text or WhatsApp 086 1800 964. For the moment, Susan, David, Connor and Hans, thank you very much. We'll let you get back to the task at hand and we'll check it in with you again very shortly. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment. And you're very welcome back to number 41 Queen's Hotel for this year's Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club Radio Charity Auction. And we are hearing throughout the course of the show, as well as from some of the Ennis Lions Club members taking the bidding and keeping an eye on proceedings. And we heard from the president of Ennis Lions Club, Maria Hanley, earlier on. You're hearing some of the conversations I've been having with the staff from St. Clair School and also with some of the parents. And now we are going to hear a conversation I had with Liz Nealon, who chats about the school and the effect it has had since her son Finn started attending.
Liz, thank you for popping into us.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Finn, your son.
So Finn is 10 since September, just last month. Was born, I guess, with the genetic disorder. So basically it affects his 18 chromosome. So we were pretty much told that he would never walk or talk or sit up. And actually in the first year, probably that he wouldn't survive the first year. But he is 10 now, since last month. He is in his sixth year in St. Clair's. He is non-verbal, able to walk, able to run, and really happy, beautiful boy, loves going to school every day.
I mean, that's amazing, particularly given the start of the story, Liz, to not just be walking and up and about, but actually, going to school and enjoying it. But take us back to when you get that news, because the birth of any child is the happiest moment of any parent's life. You find out all of this about Finn, and then on top of that you're told he mightn't even survive the first year. I mean, that's devastating news. How did you take that, and how did you all, and Finn in particular, get through not just the first year but those first few years?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a shock to the system, and I guess he was my first child, and Finn is an only child, and you kind of take it step by step. And Finn was strong and feeding, and we were kind of up and down to the hospital kind of every 2 weeks, in terms of he was kind of born with a club foot as well, so we kind of were in the hospital kind of bi-weekly with him, getting treatment on that. So I think we kind of, personally, I didn't overthink it, because I guess it's your son, and you always just kind of hope for the best, and you immediately fall absolutely desperately in love with him, and you kind of, and we just took it step by step, and there were kind of a lot of treatments kind of over the first kind of couple of years, and we kind of made it then to kind of trying to see where preschool was, and and after I think 8 months, we kind of met with a genetic consultant who kind of re-diagnosed him at that stage. So at that stage we were kind of told that he would survive longer than a year, but that not to have any more expectations in terms of, so from there my attitude was he can keep going until he can't. So that's kind of really what we did. We kind of just kept going, and Finn kept doing his everything, and he's at his own pace, and up to like today he's still like that, and that's how we've kind of really looked at it.
Okay, so just not thinking about what's behind you, not thinking too far ahead as to what could or might happen, because chances are there's also a chance it might not happen. Deal with it, be it in the present as much as possible.
I think, and I mean, Finn will always need lifelong care. Like, you can't leave him on his own. Like, even for me, I work, but you need to kind of organise that there's someone with him after school all the time. Like, he's, as I said, he's 10. Our aim is to make him as independent as he possibly can be. But the reality is he will always need one-on-one care, I think, for the rest of his life. So you can't overthink that. You have to kind of take it step by step, and take the good, as I said, he's progressing at his own level, and for me that's what I love to see.
And logistically, Liz, even that organising care for Finn after school, but especially when he was younger, do you find that a lot of your time is taken up with looking after Finn, even though you're working and so on? You're still thinking about him. How's he getting on?
100%, yeah. I mean, you have to be so, careful where you leave him, who you leave him with, because his needs are, you really need to know Finn. Like, you really need to know him, even in terms of feeding, I guess, going to the bathroom, changing clothes, what he plays with, what he likes, what he doesn't like.
Can that be tiring?
Yeah, you have to constantly think about that, and then you kind of have to support the person that's going to be kind of left there with him as well. Yeah. And I guess you always have to kind of have your phone there, because some days might go good, other days might not go so well, so you can't go too far away from that. So you always have to be kind of there. I guess I'm so used to it now, after kind of 10 years, that you kind of just, but you do, you always, and it's, I've been lucky, I guess there's been, I've a good family support, in terms of his grandparents and his aunts and his uncles, from that point of view, because I'm from Ennis. My family are kind of in Ennis.
You have a good support unit around you. I do,
yeah, and I know a lot of people aren't as lucky as me that way, so, and they've all completely embraced Finn and his differences, and, all our lives have kind of changed, in that, but everyone, in fairness, has kind of, I've been very lucky.
So let's talk about when St. Clare's enters Finn's life and your life. You're from Ennis, so I'm presuming, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, that you were at least aware of St. Clare's existence. How did Finn end up going there?
I was. I grew up on the Gort Road. And I would have gone to the Gaelscoil, which at the time was up by Cushnahauna. So then the Gaelscoil moved across the road, and I was always aware that St. Clare's was kind of tucked away in the corner, kind of at the back of Glenina, and I knew it was there, but like never knew much more about it really.
I suppose you had no reason to want to.
Yeah, no reason whatsoever, but always kind of like, you know, heard good things about it. And then, you know, with Finn, when we were starting to think about preschool, you know, we initially kind of sent him to Rouen for the first year. Again, we kind of weren't too sure, you know, what to do. And then we actually did go, we were advised to kind of by friends and a support group to maybe go in and meet with the principal in St. Clare's. And he gave me the tour around, and, you know, the school, you can tell, has been there for as long as I've known it's been there. But when I met the students and the teachers in the walk around, I kind of got a special feeling, and I kind of just knew it was going to be perfect for Finn.
And what difference has it made to Finn's life in the time he's been attending St. Clare's, and subsequently what impact has that then had on you and the rest of the family?
I know we only have a few minutes. I could talk for hours about it, but it's made a huge difference. Like, he's been going there since he's 4, so like that's 6 years now that he's 10. As I said, Finn is an only child, and he actually doesn't have any first cousins on either side. So in terms of him kind of being with his peers,
making
friends, yeah, which, being honest, you know, when we were given the diagnosis, it's difficult when they're 2, 3 and 4, when you kind of go to public places like play areas and things like that, and it's just, Finn struggles in those areas. So to see him going over into St. Clare's, and actually was around the time of the pandemic when Finn started there, so I wasn't able to go into the school. So I kind of had to trust, I remember his teacher, Claire Rice, she was his teacher at that time, and I had to kind of let his hand go and her to take him and to close the door. And that was his first time ever kind of being away from home.
Tough for you.
It was a big step, yeah, but he thrived. Like, he gets the bus in the morning, so the bus kind of collects him from outside the house. He's independent. It brings him to the school. He gets off and he comes home in the bus as well. And like, he's with a beautiful bunch of students at the minute. They all kind of came to his party this year, which I never thought he'd kind of have birthday parties where kids would kind of be able to come to it. I'm blessed that he's a beautiful teacher, Roisin and Trina and Tara, his SNAs. I'm actually getting emotional kind of talking about them, because they help him and they love him. And even though he's non-verbal, he has like an iPad that he uses to communicate, and we've worked on that for like the last probably 3 or 4 years, and they all know how, you know, so he can, like, for a boy that's non-verbal, he never stops talking.
They're well aware of what he wants or needs or wants to say.
Yeah, and his favourite place in the school is going out onto the AstroTurf, which is kind of like for lunchtime, where all the other kids are there and all the other staff and everybody knows him. And like, he loves kind of doing like jobs around the school, like whether it's like the photocopying or the washing up or whatever. And they include all that, and it's all part of kind of making him independent. And they do all that as part of his daily tasks. And like, he's gone off. Like, I've never had a day where I'm dragging him out of bed to send him into school. So I can't speak highly of them over there, you know. Okay,
so it's made your life easier in that regard, not having to drag him out of bed. Has it made it easier in other ways? I'm sensing your mind is more at ease. You compared to that first day.
Yeah.
He goes in and you don't have to worry for 1 second as to what he's doing or how he's getting on.
Absolutely, yeah. No, like, they send us home kind of photographs every day in terms of what's going on, because the biggest challenge, I guess, is because Finn is non-verbal, so he can't come home at the end of his day and kind of tell you in terms of like, oh, this happened today or that happened today. Yeah, we have the device, and, you know, his teacher, like, there's a part in it where she can update the device, so Finn can come home now and kind of tell me his news. He pushes a button and it says who he met that day, or, you know, if something happened, you know, what happened. And it's really lovely. So for me then, it's like, he comes home from school and he's excited to tell me about kind of what happened and who he met, because he's like, Finn is not necessarily into toys or TV. It's real, he loves being around people, you know, and the school kind of really has just brought out the best in him, because it allows him to kind of be around people, you know, all the time, which is lovely.
That situation you're just describing there now, you couldn't possibly have conceived of that when he was born.
Oh my God, no. No. No, and the fact that like that school was kind of so close to my home house kind of growing up as well, like, you know, who would have thought? You could never ever have predicted. Now, I mean, in terms of what we're kind of doing this week with, you know, the auction and everything else, like, you know, there's such amazing staff and people that are kind of working over there. And I know every school in the country is kind of under-resourced. You know, and I do always remember my first visit into the school, I was like going, oh, the classrooms are, you know, it's I won't say basic is kind of the wrong word, but you could see that they were kind of under-resourced. So I do feel like I kind of personally, anyone that kind of has bid, to thank them like sincerely, because it will not go to waste over there. It just won't.
And I mean, I've spoken to some of the teachers there about what difference this playground equipment will
Yes.
make, because it's not feasible for them to go to a playground that's near the school. It will make such a huge difference to the children.
Absolutely, definitely. As I said, like Finn's favourite time is lunchtime, kind of going out, hanging with everyone. And like even for me, like, you know, I've brought him to, you know, the playground in the Fair Green, and, you know, for Finn, in terms of climbing up on things, like it's dangerous. I personally would kind of have to leave him. I would be afraid if he was going with someone that was looking after him in case anything would happen. Even, I guess, you know, sometimes it's just a little bit overstimulating for him. So the fact that I think, you know, he can kind of learn what he's kind of, you know, they can show him and he can learn in his own time and his own space over in the yard in school, is just going to be absolutely huge for him.
Liz, if you could say one thing to someone listening this morning during the auction, and they're thinking about supporting the auction or bidding, what would you say to them?
Oh, I would say even if you could bid on, you know, even if it's just €5 or something like that, like, it is just cherished, all the money that's going to come in there. And I guarantee you, for the 6 years that I have been over there, that it will be put to really, really good use. And I thank you so much for anything that you can give.
Yeah, and hopefully we do raise a lot for the auction and for St. Clare's. Liz Nealon, thank you so much, and the very best going forward to you and Finn and the rest of the family. Thank you. And thank you to Liz Nealon for having a chat with me. Lots of lovely messages coming in. One here on 086 1800 964 saying congrats to the Lions Club and Clare FM on a fantastic live broadcast. Sorry I'm not with you this year in number 41 at the Queen's, listening to your broadcast from sunny Spain. Greetings to my fellow Lions and to you and Clare FM. Well done to all. Looking forward to hearing the final figure raised. Thank you for that. Thanks for listening in sunny Spain and making us feel a little bit jealous. And we are all looking forward to hearing that final figure. Stay with us. We'll be back with the radio auction in just a moment. We're back at the Clare FM Ennis Lions Club Radio Charity Auction, where once again I'm joined by the hardest working man in show business, certainly this morning between 9 and 12, Conor Smith. Conor, thanks for being with us again. In terms of the items closing at 11, the clock very close to that, 2 minutes to go. So talk to us a bit about what people still have a very short window of opportunity to get involved in.
Some very unusual items, and we've mentioned a few of these already. There's 2 sets of return flights to Madrid, there's return flights to Paris, return flights to Boston, Messy Bakes 1 year online baking vouchers, step-by-step video tutorials for families, Deer Park fitted wardrobes. Again, we've mentioned the Zappi chargers, 1 fully fitted, 1 just a unit itself. Further education classes for people with learning difficulties, there's 4 different vouchers for that. On the music scene, we've a 12-inch LP David Bowie. It's a first press, there's only 1 of 500 of these, so that's a real collector's item. We also have a signed picture for Leonard Cohen when he was in Dublin in September 2013.
Wowzers, and considering he's a legend and he's gone 9 years, there'd be a lot of interest in that.
Absolutely. I wasn't supposed to mention that. David warned me not to mention it because his wife is bidding on it, and I know my sister is bidding on it for her husband for Christmas. He's a music buff, so let them trash it out themselves.
Brilliant. So some fantastic items there, folks. The clock ticking to get your bid in for that. Conor, thank you very much. It is 0818 400 964 to call us here at Morning Focus during the radio auction. You can also text or WhatsApp us on 086 1800 964. Lots more to come from the 2025 Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club Radio Charity Auction, live from number 41 here at the Queen's Hotel. And of course, in the next hour, we will be giving away our end of week prize with Best Price Ennis, and we'll be doing the big reveal on the total amount that has been raised for St. Clare's School here in Ennis. Very welcome back to number 41 at the Queen's Hotel for this year's Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club Radio Charity Auction.
auction, where a lot is happening here to try and raise as much money as possible for St Clare's School here in Ennis. 0818 400 964 to get in touch with Morning Focus via the phone. 086 1800 964 is the text and WhatsApp number. Send us a voice note if you like, or you can also email us. The address to do that is focus@clare.fm. Text in here from a listener saying, please give a big shout out to our sister Magella Monaghan and Sue Burns, wishing them the best for their morning coffee fundraising in aid of Milford Hospice at the Resource Centre in Killaloe. Best of luck with that, folks. And there's another fundraiser tonight. Ennis Singers Club's annual Sláinte an Clár fundraiser is happening in the Grove, and special guest Francis Kennedy, singer and storyteller from Listowel, all welcome. So lots happening in terms of fundraising, and also texts coming in on the radio auction as well. Eileen has been in touch on 086 1800 964 to say, I'm having fun listening to the auction, especially enjoying Hans showcasing the items, although I'm getting nervous about being outbid, which has happened a few times already. Well, look, I think that's part of the fun of an auction, isn't it? The thrill of, victory snatched from the jaws of defeat, or vice versa. Look, best of luck to you, Eileen, on whatever you have bid on. And Hans blushing a little bit at the compliment. Hans, people are enjoying your narrative approach to the auction.
It's good to hear.
Or do you know Eileen? Did you prompt her to text in?
No, I didn't, but I enjoyed.
All praise is good, isn't it? Look, there's still plenty of items left, 46 in fact, but it's not the end of the hour where they'll be expiring. It is 11:45, so the window of opportunity a little shorter, as you can appreciate. Maybe Hans, talk to us a little bit about what people could potentially get their hands on before the 11:45.
Yeah, what I'm looking here at is the time of the year is coming up to Christmas, so we have a Christmas tree coming up valued at $340, and it's a brilliant item to get now. So when you think about the presents, you need obviously a table to put all the presents up as well. There's a solid oak coffee table, was $230 available for that. And to run all the various electric items in your house, the best bid is on the €2,000 of Solar Edge home PV system with Weep Energy. That basically gets you up and running with the power supply for your house. And not only that, it prepares you as well with a battery and a backup switch for a power outage.
It's a really good item for anyone with teenagers.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Where there's constant draw on the power. So on top of it, when you have the electric car as well, they offer a fully installed SAPI charger by Veep Energy, and then you can buy one and then get a qualified electrician as well to install it. So saying that the system comes with a backup switch, now that is obviously after a storm when the electricity goes. So what you need to do is then when the electricity is back and you're all well and good after the storm, you need to blow the leaves away. So we have a petrol leaf blower from US Wholesale, which is ideal for that function. So there you go.
Do you know what's so good about your approach, Hans? It's not just encouraging people to buy or to bid for one item, but it's really, spelling out to them, you don't just need one item. For this entire scenario, you need to be bidding on at least 5 or 6 items, or you're not going to realise the vision that Hans is manifesting.
We only sell complete packages.
Yeah, complete packages, exactly. Okay, so there's some of the brilliant items there. David Goodstein, anything that catches your eye?
Yeah, I've got some remarkable items here. I think we could say we saved the best till last. We've got tickets for the Christmas Gala at the National Concert Hall, which is on the 22nd of December, so that's a fantastic treat for the family. This is a remarkable item as well, a coach transport for a family day out. So that's Brigdale Coaches in Clare Castle. They've got a 16-seat coach. You can all pile on there and they will drive you to wherever you want to go, perhaps the Christmas markets, a hen party. Well,
do a nice mystery tour, perhaps?
I think the terms and conditions say no hen parties.
Sorry, I take that back, retract it.
We've got family surf lesson with the Green Room, so they donate every year, but this is for 8 people, a family of 8 people. Great value to be had there. A web development package for a business that wants to improve their web presence. There's good value to be had in that one. The Island Japan tickets, there's still good value in that one. I shouldn't remind you, but they did beat us in the World Cup, so there'll be The stakes are high in that.
You just had to mention that.
Couldn't resist.
Another one of our regular donors is Lahinch Leisure Centre. So there's a membership here, 1 year membership. That's for an individual, not a family. And I have to mention this David Bowie Black Star album.
Yes, that has certainly caught my eye. His final album, and he went out on a high note, very high note.
He did, but this is still in cellophane, and this is one of only 500. It's the first pressing, so 500 were released. Then they changed the packaging, and then he died, and then they had the general release. So a really amazing item to have there. I think Connor mentioned this Messy Bake. So this is a subscription service that has videos really aimed at families to cook together. Video tutorial for cooking. That's a subscription worth 180. Definitely worth a bid on that one. And another remarkable item, so a bespoke design proposal from a fully qualified architect.
Okay.
And that includes project management through delivery of whatever it is you're architecting. So really interesting items there.
Really interesting items and really, really good value as well. I see one there, Susan, a haircut for 1 year for one person, which is something, you know, an individual as hairy as myself, you know, I'd be getting great value out of the head and the beard as well.
Absolutely. But and isn't it so generous though of that I think it's a barber shop, I'm not sure, is it a hairdresser?
Yeah, it is, the Guillotine Barber Shop.
You know, I mean, people can be very creative in what they actually donate as well, you know, so I enjoy that. But anyway, I'm going to concentrate on some golf items actually, Alan. So we have this is amazing, Vaughan Lodge and Lahinch Golf Club package. So you can do your golf and then you can have dinner and stay in Vaughan Lodge, and that's valued at €950. There's only 425 bid on it at the moment, so get your fingers out, people, because that is a super package for two people, and it's well worth at least another 100 or 150 euros bidding up on that. We've got a 4-ball round at golf at Dromoland worth 800 euros. Again, only 400 euros bid on it, so lots of, and again, Christmas presents, people, if you've got golfers in your life or family, sons and husbands, and you know, just get some really good value here for them. We've got 1 year's membership of Ennis Golf Club, very generous, they've given that to us for a few years, valued at €695, only 390 bid on it at the moment, so if there is a condition that has to be a new member, it cannot be a renewal, okay? We've got 4-ball at East Clare Golf Club, we've got a 4-ball at Spanish Golf Club, one night's bed and breakfast in the Courtyard Suite at Trump International Golf Links and Hotel. That's not actually for golf, that's for overnight accommodation, valued at 500, only 310 bid on it at the moment. And let me see, give you one more. We've got another voucher, actually this isn't golf, this is one of my favourites, a €150 voucher for Nozomi Shoe Boutique, and that is only at €100. We normally get full value for all of the ladies' fashions and shoes, so ladies, get your fingers out again as well and bid up on those. We've got return flights to Madrid, 2 sets of return flights to Madrid, valued at €800, and they're only bid at 485 and 400 respectively, so great value to be had there too.
Brilliant. One that stands out for me, if you want to get a glimpse into the corridors of power, well, this one actually, this will get you beyond the corridors of power into the actual restaurant where the politicians eat, dinner for two in the Dáil restaurant, so you can see how you're thanks to Carl Crowe, so you can see how our elected members are all you can see what their dietary requirements are. So look, lots of great items there. Thanks for the moment to Susan, David and to Hans as well. 086 1800 964 if you want to text or WhatsApp us to say anything about the auction or anything else at all. We've been hearing some conversations that I've been having with some of the parents whose children are going to St. Clare's School here in Ennis, and just how fantastic and beneficial the experience of going to school has been for their children and for them as a consequence. So let's hear from Kate Finn, whose son Mac attends St. Clare's.
Very good morning, Kate.
Morning, Alan.
Thanks very much for joining us, and especially to tell your story, and I suppose more to the point, your son Mac's story. Tell us about Mac. What kind of lad is he?
So Mac just turned 13, which we find really difficult to believe, but he's our only child. So he has the full focus of both of us. So we're kind of obsessed with him, to be honest. But in a healthy way.
I was just about to say, is it a good thing or bad thing in a healthy way?
In a healthy way, but he has our full focus to where we can put all our resources and energy into him and his needs. We actually returned from America, where he was born, just 5 years ago now. We came in the first lockdown, which was just a coincidence. But he was born in Boston, and we had great support there in terms of healthcare and schooling and services.
So they're well, as you would expect in the US, they're well set up for...
They're well set up, and it's a different model to here. But we had gotten to the point with all of those services where we came to realise and accept that Mac is Mac. You know, he has a genetic syndrome called Soto's syndrome, and it is medically classed as a form of giantism. It is genetic, but he didn't inherit it from us. It's spontaneous in him.
Okay, is it quite rare? Or?
It is pretty rare. I think in Ireland there's maybe 50 cases that are known.
And what does giantism mean?
Well, it had formerly been known as cerebral giantism because they are born with big heads. We didn't know before he was born that he would have this syndrome. But it means that in childhood they are much taller than their peers. And there's also some physical aspects to it. They often have scoliosis, kidney problems, you know, a lot of medical things. And then there's the intellectual aspect. They're more often at a moderate level of intellectual delay. And then there are behavioural complications to where they often have an autism diagnosis too.
Okay, so there's a lot there, and
there's a lot
at the beginning of Mac's life when you're finding all of this out. How difficult was it to process and to maybe initially deal with? Because this is your first child; it's your first time dealing with a child and dealing with all of this that you'd probably never heard of before.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's 13, but I'm still always going to be a first-time parent, you know. He's my only child. And at birth, it wasn't apparent. And we did have about 5 weeks where we thought we had a normal child, for the want of a better term. But and then a paediatrician started saying there's something different about Mac. Now, I didn't have much experience with babies, so I thought she was just daft. You know?
Didn't worry when you heard that?
No, I didn't. I really didn't. And anyway, it went on for about a year. We had so many doctors. It so happened both myself and my husband worked in a huge hospital in Boston. So we were very, very, very lucky and very well taken care of in that people had a real interest in us. And the Irish accent didn't do us any harm at all. And we had just huge support in the hospital. So it still took until right after his first birthday to actually get an official diagnosis. And even as big as the hospital was, they still had to send the test away, and it took 3 months to come back because his diagnosis was fairly rare. But to be honest, we had a childminder because I worked full-time, and she raised Soto's syndrome as a possibility because she'd worked with babies for 20 years. And when I mentioned that to the geneticist, when we eventually got to her, she didn't think at the time that was it, but she knew it was something genetic. Yeah. Anyway, it turned out to be Soto's syndrome, which is fairly uncommon. Now, there are people in the world who have Soto's syndrome, they don't know they have it. I once read about a man who is a pilot, commercial pilot. He only found out he has Soto's syndrome when he had a child with it. Okay. Because when you have it, you have a 50-50 chance of passing it on.
Okay, but was it kind of dormant in him, so to speak?
No, he had it. He was tall, but he didn't have the intellectual delays. Okay. And he became a pilot, right? But so they do think there are people in the world that have Soto's syndrome and they don't know they have it.
For you and your family, how all-encompassing or how busy or hectic was your life with Mac? You had help, and you obviously had careers, but any time outside of work pretty much taken up.
Oh my
with
gosh,
Mac.
It was. We both worked in the hospital. Mac was born in the hospital. All his doctors were in the hospital. I felt like I lived, and I was in the hospital all the time. And it is America, and there was no maternity leave. And, we handed him to a stranger at 5 weeks old. So to be honest, I probably didn't recognise some of his delays, being a first-time mother, but also working full-time. And it's Boston, right? So you're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and shoveling snow and you're commuting and all of that stuff. So I'm very grateful to that childminder who recognised, early on. And then I started pushing, because that's the kind of mother I am, calling doctors. I just needed to understand what we were dealing with.
Of course,
I fully accept Mac as he is, who he is, but I have to be able to support him and find the supports, and obviously teach him how to be appropriate in certain settings as much as you can, right? But he is who he is.
And part of coming home was to find, to have more of a community around you. When you were coming home, Kate, were you aware of St. Clare's, or did that happen after you came home?
I had St. Clare's Googled before we ever put our house on the market in Boston. Right? I'm from Galway City. My husband's from West Clare. We knew Ennis was where we would probably land for a whole host of reasons. There was no getting back into Galway City.
St. Clare's would be chief amongst the reasons.
Yeah, and I mean, there's St. Joseph's in Galway, which I would have been familiar with and would have had neighbours that attended and all of that. So I did understand the model of a special needs school. And in America, Mac was in a regular school and would have had an SNA bringing him into classes. And I knew that he couldn't be in a maths class in elementary school and all of that. So we absolutely wanted him to be in a special needs school. Because one of the aspects of having your children integrated or inclusion in schools is, when it's your only child, you're always the odd person out, the odd family out. That was the case in America. And I thought, I just want him in a special needs school where we can all be a community and we're all in the same boat and parents can support each other and I can make friends with other special needs parents and we can have our kids hang out. So, yes, I came back with the intention of getting him into St. Clare's.
And all of that, Kate, has it worked out as you hoped? I mean, Mac is going to St. Clare's about 5 years now. Has it been as transformative, not just for him, but for all of the family, as you hoped it might be when you came back from Boston?
Yeah, in so many ways. I mean, the staff are wonderful. The teachers, they're just really... They're motherly to all of the children. I'm saying motherly because it's a lot of women. Yeah. But you know what? There's more and more male teachers in there too, which is so important because Mac has always been surrounded by women. Women speech therapists and occupational therapists. He needs men around him too because firstly, he's very tall. Yeah. So, he's kind of wary of people who are shorter than him because he understands he's kind of awkward. He has an awkward gait and everything. So, the school is wonderful. The staff they've such big hearts and, the school is growing too, which I want to see also, in that it has been there for a very, very long time. 30 odd years, I think. And in recent years, they're bringing in a junior cycle and kind of separating primary and secondary a little bit more than they used to, right? And that's with the development of special needs education overall. But it is astonishing to me that a school can be there that long and there's no playground in it, I'm on the Parents Association for the last few years. That has been our aim to kind of develop the resources in the school that isn't covered by the Department of Education. And, I can't really bring Mac to public playgrounds. He doesn't understand how he, interacts with other people. Other children talk to him, he doesn't answer, they're confused. Or he wants a swing and a child is
waiting
on it.
His turn. And,
all of that stuff is so hard. And when he was younger and I could just lift him out of places, it was more manageable.
You can't do that now.
He's taller than me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his feet are bigger than his father's feet. Like, he's a big kid, right?
I know all about having big feet. It's difficult.
Yeah, he's a big kid. And also, he has behavioural aspects. So he's a big kid who's kind of starting a moustache, actually. But yet, he behaves like a toddler at times.
So this is why this radio auction will be a transformative, because this is about raising funds to provide playground equipment for St. Clair's. I know the teachers told us it's badly needed, that they can't, for many reasons, bring the children to a playground nearby, just too difficult.
No.
So for the radio auction, what would you say, Kate, to people listening who might be thinking about bidding on items, what this will mean for children like Mac and all the other children who attend St. Clair's, who would love to, play in a playground, but, for reasons similar to what you outlined, it's not possible?
There's such a broad range of needs in the children in St. Clair's, and I've seen the items that the teachers and staff have carefully chosen, that they want to buy it all, right? But we don't know what the outcome of the auction will be. But there's something or several things for every single child in that school. There are children in the school that are in wheelchairs, there are children in the school that are very behavioural, and all in between, and all kinds of things, but playground and equipment like that are so important as movement breaks, because our kids don't sit at a desk for 8 hours. They can. My son can probably do about 5 or 10 minutes, and then he needs a movement break. So the teachers they chase him. That's his favourite thing. But I say to people that work with Mac, do not chase him day one. He will wear you out, But if there was something else they could use, because he's not motivated by very many things, but if there was a slide or a swing or whatever he favours, they could use that, as a reward system. Mac, you attend to this, they have all the ways of saying these things. Attend to this and then you'll get the slide. And my God, would that motivate him. And then there's just regulation, the sensory input of these things. And also, they're in a playground in a special needs school. They can kind of be who they are. Whereas if I'm out in a public playground with them, I spend all my time saying, Mac, don't do this, and Mac, watch that child, and Mac. They can be who they are in St. Clair's.
Don't have to have any inhibitions or worries about it, neither do you.
No, and the staff are so careful about scheduling. They kind of know exactly where everybody is in the school at the time. So if there's a child, for example, that Mac triggers, they would think, OK, we won't have them on the same piece of equipment at the same time.
They take so much into consideration, clearly. And look, we hope as much money is raised as is possible to allow the school to purchase as much of the playground equipment as they need. Just to finish, Kate, what would you say to someone listening to the auction this morning who's humming and hawing over bidding on something?
Well, there is another option. You don't have to bid. You could just donate. You could donate €5. You could donate whatever you can manage, right? If, you don't have to bid. There are other alternatives. You could come to the Queen's, put change in the tub thing, or you could come to the school between 10 and 12, where the Parents Association are doing teas and coffees, and put some change in there. There are so many options. Or I could send €5 in an envelope into the school. There's so many ways you could get money to us, and everything counts.
OK, everything counts is such an apt phrase on which to finish. Kate Finn, thank you so much for sharing your story and Mac's story, and we all hope the auction will be a real success, because it'll be so beneficial to St. Clair's and children like Mac. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Now, you are listening to the Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club radio charity auction, but of course we also have our end of week prize to give away here on Morning Focus. Before the end of the show, we will be giving away that brilliant prize of an Oreo 2-door white floor vanity unit, including basin and tap, from Best Price Ennis, who have their VAT-free 23% off sale on. And today's qualifier is Ellie from Ennis Diamond. So well done to you, Ellie. Keep listening, because you are in the draw that will do before the end of the show for that prize. Look, lots more to come from here, and we'll have the big reveal at the end when hopefully we'll be announcing quite a lot of money for St. Clair's School here in Ennis. Don't go anywhere, we'll be back in just a moment. And you're very welcome back to the Clare FM and Ennis Lions Club radio charity auction at number 41 at the Queen's Hotel here in the county town. 0818 400 964 if you want to call us on anything at all. If you want to have your say on the auction as well, we've people as far away as Spain listening in to the auction, or if you want to text or WhatsApp any comments or thoughts, you can do that as well. 086 1800 964, or you can email the show with whatever's on your mind to focus focus at clare.fm. And I am joined once again by Hans Eisenberg, David Goodstein and Susan Ward, as we are just under a quarter of an hour away from the closure of the last lot of items. They're closing at 11:45, and let's check in with Susan, because we know there's some, as with the previous hours, brilliant items up for grabs. But I suppose just to reiterate to people, because there's only about 14 minutes or so now, if they like the sound of any of these, get cracking.
This is a really good one, a family membership for a pool and gym at Active Ennis here, valued at €850. The last time I looked was €525. Even if it goes up another €100, it's a bargain for a family to get their membership there for gym and pool. So that's a great one. We've also got an overnight stay for two for dinner and breakfast at the Abbey Court Hotel in Nina. Now that's trending near to its price. It's currently at €235. It's valued at €289, but a lovely hotel to stay in. And I'm going to say again, the four balls at Tremoland golf course, we've got two of them worth €800, and they're not reaching what they should be reaching. So I'm saying to people, there's a great bargain to be had out there. They're currently only at €400 or €420.
And those are real bargains. I mean, a great experience, a great day, leisurely round of golf, and for a bargain as well.
Anyone who enjoys golf is going to enjoy a round of golf at Tremoland Castle. And of course, there's all the facilities there as well. It's a beautiful place to be, whether you play golf or not. But so I'm encouraging the golfers out there to make a bid on those quickly. And we also have a 3-month family membership at Lahinch Coast Hotel and Suites Leisure Centre, valued at €350. I think there's only about 125 on that at the moment. So another bargain to be had for somebody up there around the Lahinch area. And let me see. Oh, finally, a weekend ticket for 2 persons for Ennis Book Club Festival. I've been told not to mention that by somebody very close to me because they're bidding on it. But nonetheless, I'm sure they'll find another tenner.
You have really pulled the rug from under David Goodstein there.
No, it wasn't David. No,
it wasn't David,
but he knows who it is. But anyway, thanks to Ennis Book Club Festival, they give us this voucher every year. There are 2 exclusions from it, but for 2 people to most of their events, it's fantastic. So trending at a 170 at the moment, valued at 250.
Okay, so there you can make a real saving there. David, what else can people get a bid in? And 12 minutes left to do so.
Well, a lot of the things I mentioned have moved a lot, but the one that jumps out of me is North Clare kayaking. This is a family kayaking trip. I've actually done this myself. We got in Clahan and paddled around to the cliffs. Beautiful trip. I was with a load of American tourists. It was hilarious. So
I feel that deserves follow-up questions, but perhaps we don't have the time.
There were some funny incidents, not all involving me. Yeah.
We'll have to wait till the release of your autobiography. What else is there?
The signed, mounted photo of Leonard Cohen at his last performance in Dublin. It's 8x10 framed, so it's signed by Leonard Cohen. I can't remember the year, but it's a lovely photo in a mount. That's worth about 180, and bidding is only at about €50 at the moment.
That would be something else to have. I mean, one of the legends of music.
And Messy Bakes, I mentioned that earlier, so a subscription service for the family to cook together, guidance videos, and the web development package again. That's still available.
Okay, lots of great stuff there. Hans, anything that is catching your eye as people now have 11 minutes to get their bids in?
Well, I'm mentioning again the Solar Edge home PV system, which not only gives you the power for your house, but you can always feed out to the grid as well and get money back on your electricity bill. So it's only a winner. And the large children's rocking horse, now that was previously running in the Aintree race, so that
did it win or did it pull up lane?
Pull up the lane, yeah, but it's retired now, but it's a great bargain.
Okay, brilliant stuff. And as well, just to mention, for courtesy of Fly Shannon, return flights to Madrid for 2 and return flights to Boston for 2 as well. It'd be nice to get, and to Paris as well. So look,
there's a super flow gas heater, a gas cylinder heater worth 169, and that's only at 85 euros at the moment. It's a great item.
Okay, and the Christmas tree, which would be good for people to secure that well in advance of Christmas, be one less thing to worry about in the run into Christmas. Curious, as I'm sure there'll be a lot of interest on that as well. I'm going to mention that haircut for 1 year for one person. Yeah, I think if I won that, I try to get it done.
Focused on it.
I am, yeah. I try and get it done once a month, but I think I'd be in there once every week if we get the most out of it.
And I'm going for it, and I will be in there once a year.
I thought you were going to say once a day. Okay, look, folks, you now have 9 minutes to get your bids in there and hopefully secure yourself a bargain. And it's all for a very good cause. Any money raised going towards St. Clare's School here in Ennis. My thanks to Susan Ward, to David Goodstein and Hans Eisenberg. They're going to have a busy last few minutes, but they'll be back for the final reveal as well. So keep your bids coming in, and it is 086 1800 964 to give us a call on 086 1800 964, the text and WhatsApp number. We're going to hear now from Colin McGrath, who has been at St. Clare's.
Thanks, Alan, and you're welcome to St. Clare's School. It's a very lively school today. We're in the Holla on a great day for the school and a great day for the radio auction again. I've got some parents with me, I've got a member of the Lions Club with me, and I've got Claire Rice from St. Clare's School. How are you, Claire?
Good morning, how are you? There's great excitement here. I'm sure you can hear all the noise around.
I can, but listen, I'm told that you're the person who wrote the initial letter that got the ball rolling on this fundraiser. Is that right?
Well, that is right, but really it's far more than that letter. I wrote to the Lions Club last year and I asked them to consider including us in their funding for playground equipment for our very special students. The department, while they give us money for running the school, have never granted us any funding for playground equipment, and we regard it as a very necessary thing for our school because through play our children will develop, have fun and educate. There's education in play as well. So the Lions Club got back to me, Peter Houlihan got back to me, and it has been a constant rolling since. And I have to really mention Peter because he has been absolutely so supportive, so enthusiastic and fantastic for us really.
Yeah, I've seen the playground and I've seen some of the items you've already got there. I mean, it's great. It's a great addition.
It is indeed. So that came from Murray's above in Galway. So when I got in contact with Peter, he immediately cut a cheque for us for €5,000, which was just amazing before we ever got to the auction. And that was spent in a company in Galway called Murray's. They do recycled plastic goods, which means that these things will last for a long time. So we got those items for our junior children, but we're now concentrating on spending some money on our senior boys and girls who are very strong, very big and very tall. Yeah. So when this money comes in and we see how we're fixed, we're going to actually design something for them.
Wow, okay, well I'll come back to you in 1 second, Claire. Don't go anywhere. I'm urging people to keep bidding and keep donating. I've got two parents with me, Eddie Puncha, you've got Dara in the school. We were talking before we started recording about COVID and the difficulties that brought about. How is he settling into life in St. Clare's here now?
Yeah, I suppose Dara started his educational journey in St. John's National School in Cratloe, mainstream school, and they were really good for him. But then COVID was a real setback, particularly for kids with special needs. They were essentially abandoned for a number of years. But either which way, it became time for him to come to a special school like St. Clare's. And it's been really a very, very good experience for him. He has Down syndrome and he's on the spectrum, but he has progressed so much, and we can see it in the last year, in particular with his teacher Laura McMahon and his previous teacher Rebecca Collins. But the point is that for kids like Dara, playground equipment is really important to helping their development, their education, as Claire said as well. It's not the same as mainstream education. Sure. So this is really, I think from my own behalf, I want to say how grateful I am, and indeed all the parents are, to the Lions Club for the support here, because this kind of equipment is essential in this kind of setting. And St. Clare's is doing such a great job for so many kids that have special needs, but you can see the joy and the enthusiasm Dara gets a bus every morning, and these mornings, every morning, he gets up himself because he's excited and keen to go to school.
He doesn't have to be coaxed out of the bed, no?
No, he doesn't. Well, the odd morning, but we're all like that, I suppose. But, you know, most of the time he loves the routine and he looks forward to going to school here. Yeah. And he comes back, and even though sometimes he can be quiet and shy, when he comes home he tells us about what he's ate, what he's done, and some of the fun he's had here. Yeah. But the key thing is he is learning and progressing, and we get a lot of positivity at home from what Dara is achieving. I mean, other parents may not be familiar with what life is like with a child with special needs. And I can say it is incredibly positive to see how well he's doing. He's got a great sense of fun. He loves musicals like Matilda the musical. There is so much to be, and he is such an addition to our house and to his sisters as well. So all of that is down to lots of things, but in particular the successful time he's had here in St. Clare's. And I think schools like this need the support because they are doing so much for our children to make sure that all the children have the opportunity to be the absolute best they can.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Eddie. I've got Helen Castley with me as well. Helen, we spoke about enthusiasm and excitement, and I've met your son, Oisín, wearing his Clare jersey.
Yeah,
how is he getting on?
He's getting on great. Oisín is 15. He's here 11 years now. He loves St. Clare's, like same as Dara. He jumps out of the bed in the morning, onto the bus. You know, he loves coming to school. This is like a second family for him. And, you know, he doesn't have all the extracurricular activities like his siblings have. So the playground equipment will be so good for him, you know. Yeah. And for all the other kids.
We've been sort of pushing this for the last couple of weeks on Clare FM and getting ready and asking people to bid and to donate. Like, we can talk about how vital all of the extras are to a school, but like, let's focus on the individual for a minute. Yeah. Like, it's vital for Oisín and Dara and everybody else in the school that people get behind this.
Yeah. Oh, it is, because Oisín has a rare genetic condition, so he's global delay, so he's delayed in all aspects. So, I mean, to have this for him physically, to be able to access the playground. From a mental point of view, mix him with other kids, socialising, it's going to be great, you know.
Continued success, and I hope everything keeps going the way it is for Oisín. Eddie, one more question for you, and the St. Clare's, I suppose, the St. Clare's experience in your life. How do you hope the future goes for here? I mean, obviously Dara needs it, but like, there's many more ahead that will need it as well.
Yeah, and I suppose every parent who starts out with a newborn baby with a diagnosis, it's really quite a shock and a challenge to start with. But I suppose my message would be there is so much positivity can come out of it as well. But that's not to ignore the fact that there are a lot of challenges as well. Sure. And I think that a school like St. Clare's, all the support it can get is really necessary. Things like what we call, fine motor skills. So people mightn't understand that until you realise that playing and using equipment in a playground helps develop the fine motor skills, which is really about, developing the muscle tone to be able to do things like chopping up tomatoes. Yeah.
The things that people wouldn't consider being any difficult.
Yeah. And Dara, from our perspective, is as strong as a horse. Yeah. But he's developing those skills, and that's done through play primarily. Okay. Because if he can do it in play, he can do it, when he needs to as well.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you both for chatting to me today, and continued success to you. I'm going to chat to Clare again in 1 second, and I'm going to go with Clare out into the hall to hear the excitement of what's going on there today. But first, Michael Sheedy, how are you?
Very good.
It seems like you're our snapper today.
Well, yeah, taking a few photographs, just documenting the day, and hopefully be able to put it up in our newsletter and various things.
And you say our newsletter, you're involved in the Lions Club.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And I know you drive buses as well, so you've plenty of reason to be in and out of this school.
Yeah, and I was former president 3 years ago, and I have been in and out of this school, and to see the work that teachers and the SNAs, and I must compliment Ed and Helen here this morning. You know, I know their two kids actually. I've had them on the bus, and it's fantastic to see the progression in those kids from when they were small, and now you know they hop on the bus and they love to go to Planet or wherever they're going for the day out. It's wonderful.
And of all the causes, I mean, like we've done the radio auction for a few years now. Like this is as worthy as any other, and probably more so.
Unbelievable, because to see the equipment out there, this is another classroom. This is actually, and as Ed said, this is part of a learning thing in St. Clair's. You know, they're special kids. They need that stimulation in the morning to get the thing moving. And it's fantastic to see this in operation now. It's another classroom in actual fact. It's fantastic. We're delighted to be associated with it. Really are.
And great work done again, Michael.
And Peter, my colleague, is unavailable here this morning, and must compliment Peter because he has done Trojan work in connection with Clare here, and the work very fantastic.
With very high regard. We mentioned extra classroom. Let's see if we can go into we're going to call this an extra classroom as well, Claire. This is the Holla, and this is where all the action is going on. So we're going to walk out. There's a party atmosphere going on here at the minute, isn't there?
Oh, there certainly is, and party time is so important, and it is so worth celebrating this event today, our auction, and we're all so excited. The kids, as you can see, are so excited. There's so much going on here today. We have teas and coffees and nice little snacks for all the parents and that, and also the children are having a wonderful time.
And they're having a jersey day as well, of course.
They're having a jersey day, so they all brought in €5 each student and wore their jersey, and they're playing Halloween games, and as you can hear, it's very loud, but that is our school.
And
we love all the noise.
And the flower here behind you for the Halloween games. And listen, I hope you don't mind if I put a couple of those nice chocolate buns in my pocket before I hit the road.
No, Colm, no.
Maybe I'll have
not allowed.
Right, I'll go for a mandarin or a banana, so because you have those as well.
Healthy eating, Colm, healthy eating.
Thanks for having us here today, and continued success to you all.
And again, just to say thank you so sincerely to the Lions Club, to Peter Houlihan and everybody involved. There are no words, really. We are so moved, and thank you so much.
Brilliant, thank you as well. Alan, it's back to you at 41. Remember, everybody else, Clare.fm, keep bidding, keep donating, the auction continues.
Thank you very much, Colin McGrath there at St. Clair School here in Ennis. The recipients and beneficiaries of this year's Clare FM Ennis Lions Club Radio charity auction. It is 0818 400 964 if you want to call us. 086 1800 964 is our text and WhatsApp number. Do join us after the break when we will be having the final reveal on how much is heading towards St. Clair's. Don't go anywhere. And you're very welcome back to the Clare FM Ennis Lions Club Radio Charity Auction, where the finish line is in sight. And I am joined by the President of Ennis Lions Club, Maria Handley, and also by Ed Scannell, the Principal of St. Clair School here in Ennis. Maria, it is that time of proceedings, the radio auction. Lots of bidding and lots of money coming in. But how much has been raised for St. Clair's?
This is the lovely part of being a president. You asked me earlier what we do. This is the lovely
Delivering
part.
good news to the people.
Delivering good news. We have raised, listen, €33,000.
Wowzers. That to me sounds like a record amount for the charity auction.
It's a record year.
33,000.
Highest number of items, highest number of value, and a record result. So we are happy.
Fantastic. And I know you want to thank some people. I'll come back to you on that in just a moment. But a beaming Ed Scannell, the Principal of St. Clair's there. I can see the Euro signs in your eyes, Ed.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone, for the generosity. It's brilliant. Thank you to the Lions Club. Thank you to Clare FM, everybody in the community that drove this. And, as you say, record amounts, record items. It's brilliant. Thank you so much.
And we were talking earlier on about, there's so many different types of items you could get for the playground. But before you know how much is actually going to be raised, you're kind of prioritising. Yeah. You might be able to go further down that list now. You can stretch a bit.
Yeah, we can get the items that we put aside and said maybe. We can do all that now. So thank you again so much.
And I mean, can you tell us what is that going to mean to the children of St. Clair's to be able to avail of all of that at the school?
It's going to transform the school. It's going to transform the grounds, because we're going to have so many facilities now and so much equipment there for the children to use every single day. They won't know what themselves. They won't want to leave the school.
They're still going home after 3.
That is true.
Yeah, that is true. Well, look, absolutely brilliant, and well done to everyone who bid on items and got them. And look, you got something great out of it. You got a fantastic item, either for yourself or for someone else, particularly for Christmas. You got a bargain, and you got that feeling of knowing you've helped a very worthwhile cause. Maria, this is many hands have been involved in this, making it work. I know you want to thank some people.
I always think when something works so smoothly and so seamlessly, there's a lot of work goes on in the background to make that happen. So firstly, I need to thank Clare FM again for coming on board this year and so being so helpful and so supportive and giving us the coverage. It's a lovely relationship, and we hope it continues. I would like to thank the donors. I mean, without the donors, without the businesses coming on board so generously.
And a record number of items, and the variety is incredible.
The variety is incredible. And just even when you went in to visit them, and I mean, every day I'm sure there's loads of people knocking on their door. But even to give you the time that you could talk about this particular charity, you know, that it opened their eyes and ears on many occasions, and in terms of what Lions does as well. So a big thank you to all our businesses, all our shops. Wonderful, wonderful support. To thank the public, my goodness, how much they've come on board, how much they've bought into this. And it looks like it's going to be a regular feature now in the lives of the public, because this is auction time, and it's coming into Halloween and it's coming into Christmas. I'd like to thank St. Clair School and the parents and the teachers particularly, because from the day we met them, they were just so anxious about this and so willing for it to happen and so interested. And they've been absolutely magnificent partners. And I think that needs it. Yeah. Magnificent partners. And you actually said it, Alan, continued success, continued good luck with the wonderful work you're doing. And we'll all maybe have a little look in the playground every now and again. Can I thank my fellow Lions, my goodness, and the auction team. On my left here, David Goodstein, the project leader, Susan Ward, marketing, Neil, who isn't with us today, Hans,
whose narratives have enthralled the listeners.
Have they?
They have. They've enjoyed the way he sold the items.
Oh, well, I get him to do the minutes of the meetings now. Hans, our secret man.
Secret weapon.
Secret weapon. I mean, all Lions have really bought into this and have worked, oh my God, tirelessly over the last few months in getting in the items and showing the enthusiasm. But without the team, it couldn't have happened. So I want to say a huge thank you. It's a joy working with them, and this is just a fantastic project.
It really is. We're almost out of time, but David Goodstein, you have a microphone there and you look like a man who wants to use it.
I just want to share a story. So a lady came in to the Queen's Hotel. It was just minutes before closing time. She said, "What is still available? I just want to give something to the school." And we looked through a few items, not golf, not hotel. She picked out something, deal done. It was just a lovely, lovely moment.
Yeah, it didn't matter what she got. It was about what money was going towards.
She got a lovely item for her home.
That actually tells the story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That really tells the story.
Yeah, lovely gesture. And you want to say something else, David?
So I mean, the last minutes of the auction were quite frenetic. There was a lot of bids coming in. I'm not sure if there's any items left that don't have any bids on them.
Okay.
But we will relist those for a couple of weeks. There's still bargains to be had, and of course we're still accepting donations through iDonate or any which way. You can donate directly to the school, or you can donate to the Lions Club. All the funds find their way back to the school anyway.
Okay, brilliant stuff. Well, look, it's been absolutely fantastic. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to everyone who bid and got their items. And well done to St. Clair School and Scan and all the staff there as well. That's going to be transformative. It is time for us to go. Thanks for listening and getting involved with this year's radio charity auction. Just to let you know, our own end of week competition, the Oreo 2-door white floor vanity unit from Best Price Ennis. Well done to Elaine Boyce. You can be putting that into your bathroom. So congratulations to you. That's it from us. We're heading into the weekend in good spirits here now off the back of a record figure of €33,000 for St. Clair School at this year's radio charity auction.